Hello all my beautiful sisters from those other misters. Today I'm doing a review and demo of the Ciate Chloe Morello Beauty Haul. Now this is available at Mecca Maxima stores and online at the Mecca website. It sells for $70. Inside you get a palette. You get a mini of the Wonder Wand mascara and a mini of the Liquid Velvet liquid lipstick in Pin-Up. You also get a little pouch and some other paper crap. Now this palette was released on the day of the Mecca Maxima Chadstone opening or reopening, I don't know. Anyway, Chloe went there for the launch of this palette and the opening of the store. Pretty much all of the stock in Australia was sent to the Chadstone store. There was a few palettes available online and here and there in other shops, but it sold out online before lunch and you just couldn't get it. I know that they have restocked, shops are getting it, it's online. Yeah, so if you want it, it's available. So I'm just going to talk specifics about the palette. I'm going to start with the paper crap in there. This is like just a card with Chloe's face on it. It says, "Enjoy with love from Chloe Morello." Now that I've filmed that, I can throw it away. And there is like a thing in here that tells you how to use it. Again, something extra I can throw away and I don't have to hold on to. There is a makeup pouch in there. It just says Ciate on it, navy blue. You have like a sort of plasticky lining inside. There is rose gold detailing hardware on there and a little tassel. When I opened my palette or opened the box, I was really surprised that Chloe's name wasn't anywhere on the pouch. And then Kat brought something up to me and it kind of made me think, Anyway, I'll get onto that a bit more later. The pouch is not bad. Look, it's fine. The palette fits inside somehow. There we go. Palette fits inside. There is room for other stuff. It's not something that I would use as like a clutch to go to the races or anything like that. But it would be fine for like a little makeup travel bag. Then we have the two minis in the set. So I'll start with the Wonder Wand mascara. It's a nice mascara. It volumizes, lengthens, adds like body to the lashes. It separates fairly well, has an hourglass shaped brush. You will see a demo of me applying this to my short, stubby, annoying lashes. But I like the mascara. Whoops. I like the mascara. Honestly, if I needed to buy a mascara, and trust me, I don't need to buy a mascara anytime in the future, I would totally consider this one. Totally. Like, it's good. I like it. The next mini is the Liquid Velvet in Pin-Up. So, I like this. I think there's a few things I like about it, which I think will also be a few things people don't like about it. But the wand it's cool. It's almost like a rounded diamond shape, if that's even possible. It has a tapered tip, so it's great for getting like inner corners and along the lines of the lips. The formula is matte. It sets matte, but it doesn't set 100%. So you do get some transfer there. But I kind of like that because it makes it more comfortable to wear. It doesn't sort of dry down completely and become like this crust over your lips like a lot of matte liquid lipsticks do. It wears away quite nicely, but it doesn't really stain so much, but it leaves just a tiny bit of pigment behind. So when it wears away, it doesn't look really, really gross. You don't get that like white line on the inside of your lips. So I like this. I like the Liquid Velvet. I would consider buying more of these from the Ciate line, and I'm glad it was in the box because it's not something I would have ever tried. Along with the mascara, like I would never have just taken a gamble and purchased these because Ciate's just not on my radar. Like, they're just not. I know who they are, I know what they make, but I just don't care. So I'm glad that they're in there because I got to try them out, and turns out I like them. Alright, let's get on to the business end of things. This is the palette. On the front it says pretty, fun and fearless, Ciate London. And then it has a sticker on it that says curated by Chloe Morello. The print is like flamingos and, I don't know, sketched flowers and stars and fucking shit. I don't know. If I look at this and I look at Chloe Morello, they don't really, like, this doesn't scream Chloe Morello to me. When you open it up, inside there is a mirror. I won't blind you because that's not a nice thing to do. And then you have 15 shades in the palette. So there are 9 mattes in here and 6 shimmers. Now, when I look at this and I look at Chloe Morello, I'm like, yes, okay, that makes sense. These shades, the shade selection, it feels like someone who knows makeup did this. Someone who wears makeup every day, is aware of current makeup and eyeshadow specific trends. They had something to do with this. This doesn't feel like a brand that's just whacked together an eyeshadow palette. These shades feel put together to me, and it feels like it was put together with a lot of thought. When it comes to how much Chloe Morello had to do with this palette, and this is what Kat and I were talking about, and I'm just going to throw in my 2 cents worth quickly. When you look at the palette and the box and the pouch and all the other crap that came in it, it doesn't, to me, it doesn't scream Chloe Morello. The shades do. So I wouldn't be surprised if she told Ciate, like, add more mattes, you don't need that many shimmers, get rid of this color, replace it with more of these types of colors. If that's like the input she had on this palette, then I would believe that, and I think she did a really fucking good job. Overall, I think the shades in the palette hit the mark, especially for me. There's a nice array of shades in the palette. You've got warms up the top, and these 2 here are also warm. Then you've got 3 cools and a row of cools down the bottom. Dainty down here is kind of, it's a little bit neutral. You've got a bit of yellow in there and you've got a bit of pink. So it can pull either way. On me, it pulls quite cool, but depending on your skin tone, it may pull warm as well. It's probably one of my favorite shades in the palette, actually. I'm wearing it on my eyes today. I like the balance of mattes to shimmers. I think that's kind of what makes this palette for me. The shimmers are fairly different enough to sort of add a little pop of color onto the eyelid or the inner corner, but the mattes is really what sort of helps you to create all different looks every time you pick up the palette. It's quite diverse. I mean, if you're not into warm browns and cool plums, you may not like this palette, obviously, but that's the type of thing that I gravitate to when I'm looking for easy wearable looks. So I like the shade range. Before I get on to swatches and demo of the eye look I'm wearing today, I want to talk about the formula. So when I first used this palette, I used this. This is the Real Techniques Base Shadow Brush. And I did not get any pigmentation. Like, it was the shimmers, it was so bad, so bad. So I thought, okay, I need something that's a bit denser and I need something that has some grip to the hairs. So I opted for a natural hair brush. It is the Crown Brush C150 Angle Fluff, but you could use pretty much any natural bristle brush. That picked up and placed the shimmer shades so much better. So that was pretty much all that I would use when I was dipping into these shimmery shades. As for the mattes, they were beautiful. They're like not too powdery, they have nice pigmentation. It's not, this isn't like the Anastasia fucking Modern Renaissance palette or anything like that, but they have good pigmentation and they build really well. So it's kind of hard to go overboard. They're easy to blend out. They layer nicely so you can like blend different colors together without it looking muddy. So I really like the mattes. The shimmers were an issue initially when I realized that I couldn't just use any eyeshadow brush with it. I had to sort of keep the natural bristle brushes for this palette specifically. I was talking to some other bloggers about this palette shortly after it came out, and they were basically saying, you know, the shimmer shades are really, they're crappy. Like, they can't get any color payoff. And they're right. They're right in the sense that basically, depending on the brush that you use to use these eyeshadows, it can make or break the palette. And it's a shame, because if you can get this palette to work, it's a really, really nice palette. But if you don't think to like change up the brush, or, you know, try a different eyeshadow primer or something like that, because the shimmery shades, they do need a good eyeshadow primer. If you don't think to do that, then you're just going to be left with a palette that is kind of now a crappy palette. And I think that Ciate sort of dropped the ball in that respect. I really think that during testing phase, if they even did test this, amongst like a large group of people, they should have noticed that these shades perform differently when they're used in different ways. And that's annoying. It's annoying for a lot of people. It's even annoying for me. Like, I don't want to start applying it with this brush and then be like, oh shit, let me just stop what I'm doing, put everything down, and rummage through my brush collection to try and find brushes that might work. It's annoying. The eyeshadows should just work. Alright, so now that I've got that little rant out of the way, let's move on to finger swatches on my arm, and then we will move on to a demo on my eyeballs. I will also demo the mascara, obviously, and the lip product, and then I will give you my final thoughts. Starting the look off with My Tribe, and I'm just working this shade between my crease and up to my brow bone. It is the same color as my skin, so you can't see it. It's simply a base to sort of help my other eyeshadows blend. Next up, I'm using Dainty, and I'm basically working this all over the center of my lid. This is a really light shade. I would typically only use it as an inner corner highlight, but since I was trying to go for something that was a bit more subtle, I chose to use this all over my lid, but honestly I do think that this is best used as an inner corner highlight. Next up is Jet Setter, and this shade is going just in my crease. Next I'm taking Daydream, and this is going on my outer corner and just a little bit into the crease. I'm not taking it up too far. I still want there to be a colour difference between Jet Setter and Daydream. I'm just taking a clean, fluffy blending brush to sort of marry those two colours together and fix up any of that colour skipping. Okay, I'm back with Wings, and I'm taking Daydream again, and I'm going to just subtly smoke this along my lower lash line. And now I'm using Vacay just on the very, very inner corner of my eyes. Okay, it's time for Wonder Wand mascara. My lashes are a pain in the ass, to say the least. But I like this mascara. I do find that it can get clumpy if you use too much, and because my eyelashes are quite sparse, they do like to stick together. But for the most part, this is a great mascara. I can definitely work with it, and I like the length that it gives. And time for the Liquid Velvet in Pinup. Does anyone else have a really easy time getting one side nice and straight and perfect, and then the other side's wonky as fuck? No, just me? Okay then. Yes, you wipe up that mess, Hayley. Just fixing up those floors. And there we go. Alright, final thoughts on the Pretty Fun and Fearless Beauty Haul by Chloe Morello and Ciate. I just want to say about the name, actually, while I'm thinking of it. Pretty Fun and Fearless. So Ciate released 3 palettes either earlier this year or late last year, and they were called Pretty Fun and Fearless. And they're those palettes with pans within pans. It's an absolute nightmare. That's another thing that kind of makes me think that Chloe didn't have a whole lot to do with this palette other than telling them how to not fuck up the shade selection. So, you know, I mean, if that is indeed the only part that she had played a part in, the shade selection, she did a good job. The formula can be lacking for some people, which is a shame. It's not even a matter of, it's a bad batch. It's a matter of, your formula doesn't work with all eyeshadow brushes, and it kind of should. So with all that critical talk, you might actually be surprised to hear that I really love this palette. I love it. I really, really love it. I have been using it pretty much every day since I got it, and the only reason I use other palettes is because I have to use them to review them. I haven't wanted to put this down. I've been loving it. The shades are gorgeous. I like the fact that every time I pick it up, I can do something different, and it's easy because the shades all just work together. I really, really love it. If you are concerned that you may not be able to make the formula work for you, you may want to skip spending the $70 on this because you may need to put in a few days of effort before you really get some true joy out of it. Also, obviously, if you're not into warm browns and cool purple and blue colors, don't go there. You're not going to like it. But if this is your kind of color deal, the sort of stuff you like, and you are willing to play around and, you know, work out how to best use these shades, honestly, I say go for it. It's a beautiful palette. I would consider more Ciate palettes in the future, unless they have those stupid pans within pans, and I'm not even touching that Trend Mood palette that's coming out. It's gonna be a nightmare. Bad idea, Ciate, bad idea. Alright guys, so that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found it helpful. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget you can check out Kat and I over at Beauty News with all of our beauty news shenanigans. You can also come and join the Facebook group. This will all be linked down below. There will also be a related blog post on this palette, so check that out if you want. Again, link down below in the description box. And until next time, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.